Welcome back. I was talking about the biggest scientific discoveries in history before my phone died, and this history changed everything. The first is gravity. Newton observed that objects fall at predictable rates and formalized the laws of motion. Einstein later expanded this with general relativity. Gravity is actually the curvature of space and time. The next on the list of the biggest scientific discoveries in history is evolution. Darwin showed that all living things share common ancestors and change over time through natural selection. It's the foundation of all modern biology. The third is the germ theory. My lips are dry. The germ theory. Before this, people thought disease came from bad hair, pasture, and others. The germ theory. Before this, people thought disease came from bad hair, full stop. Pasture and others proved that microorganisms cause disease. This gave us medicine, vaccines, and surgery. The Big Bang. The universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago. Excuse me, I was a bit distracted. The Big Bang. The universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago from an infinitely hot, dense point and has been expanding ever since. We have DNA. Watson, Crick, and Franklin discovered the double helix structure of DNA. Do you know what came to my mind when the lady moved the chair, the desk, and I've been really, really trying to correct her, but I don't know how to correct her nicely and also protect myself because I don't think it's just that is a very, very loud ringtone. Oh my god, guys. Is it me or is everything irritating? No, obviously, those are loud noises. Back to the lady moving the desk. If I talk to her, there is this principle I have called slow, which simply means which means when you talk to people slowly, they conform. I don't know if this is a universal thing or it is a UK humans thing because I have a conspiracy. I have a theory, not a conspiracy. At this point, it is a fact or a law. As a scientist, I should go and tell her, and the old me would have done it because I would want to prove something to myself and my audience. But now, I don't want to lie. It is not timidity for the most part. It is, I wanted to say, it is tiredness. I feel like I am living in a loop and the humans in the society keep acting the same way, and I have a form of self awareness, and so I have been bestowed a weird duty, which for the most part is self imposed, and I have to be correcting them. And at some point, it gets sickening because this might sound rude and insulting, and I apologize. But just think for a second. All you have to do as a human being is to think. And I could be the person trying to help everyone, seeing the errors of their ways, like correcting this lady, which would help her and also help various people that have to share a space with her. But when does this duty end for me? Because if I want to be honest, although I spoke fast, if I want to be honest, if I want to be honest to a certain level, I am also just tired of this duty. I wish humans could also self reflect. Furthermore, I've not even had anyone come to correct me, and so I just feel weird, coupled with the fact that right now I am starting to make up fake excuses because, to an extent, I think something is even prompting me to want to just be correcting people. I do know that it is out of my own nicety and decency, but there is also some form of factor to it. Anyways, I will keep her in my prayer. And this is where I think the God factor is not good because it's like a cheat code. Whenever I don't want to stretch myself and explore an option, I just say I will pray for the party involved. It is bad, but I am a, I am at a situation in my life right now where I need that reality to be extremely true because right now the only thing that can help in this current situation I am is prayer. So if prayer cannot even help something, if prayer cannot even help resolve something as little as a person moving the desk loudly, how on earth would prayer help with this other situation? So, where is the borderline between me totally surrendering all to God or surrendering it to God and also taking actions? Because I'm in a situation where I think surrendering all to God is the best case scenario. But when you surrender all to God, do you just look and pray? That is weird because how do you just surrender to God and just keep looking and expect God to just fix everything? How would God fix her if someone doesn't tell her? I'm guessing it would prompt her brain. And that is not disrespect because that kind of sounded rude. But how else would God help her? Maybe she would see a YouTube video that says, "Stop dragging your desk loudly." S- So, if I surrender to God and I totally surrender to God, I don't have to correct her. All I have to do is pray for her and hope she changes. Not even hope. I pray that she changes and believe that she changes without correcting her. Or I pray that she changes and I also correct her. But if I pray that she changes and I correct her, am I totally surrendering to God? Because I am surrendering to God and I am now using my own intuition and initiative, which is my own thinking and no longer God's thinking. And this probably doesn't make much sense. but to me, I think it does. Please let me know in the comment section. So, right now, I will just pray for her. Lord Jesus, please, the lady seated to the left side across from me that keeps dragging her chair, please help her to change so that she quits dragging the desk. Amen. In Jesus' name, I think I've done the best that I can for her because that is literally the best I am doing, even for myself. And I'm not using myself as a standard, I am using prayer as a standard for the best. Back to our conversation. I am talking about the biggest scientific discoveries in history. I have mentioned gravity, evolution, gem theory, the Big Bang, DNA. I last mentioned DNA, but first, what's I'm trying to be a good teacher, so I'm thinking, do I read everything? Do I explain everything I just read? Maybe not, but repetition would allow it to stick to the brain of the student. And so, gravity. Newton observed that objects fall at predictable rates and formalized the laws of motion. Einstein later expanded this with general relativity. Gravity is actually the curvature of space and time. We have evolution. Darwin showed that all living things share common ancestors and change over time through natural selection. It's the founding of all modern biology. Germ theory. Before this, people thought disease came from bad air, pasture, and others proved that microorganisms cause disease. This gave us medicine, vaccines, and surgery. The Big Bang. The universe began approximately 13.8 billion years ago from an infinitely hot, dense point and has been expanding ever since. In one of my videos, I spoke about the Big Bang Theory being on my top five favorite TV shows of all time. DNA, Watson, Craig, and Franklin discovered the double helix structure of DNA, the molecule that carries the genetic instructions for all living things. If you have watched Epic Rap Battle of History, there is a part where Isaac Newton, where Albert Einstein was insulting Isaac Newton, and he said, "There are 12 million particles in the universe that you can observe. That you can observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd." Let me show you guys. Epic Rap Battle of History. Einstein versus. Oh, no, no. It's Einstein versus Steve Hawkins. I watched this when I was in secondary school. Damn, 139 billion views 15 years ago. Salvations in marine murders, oh yeah, it looks like some boy clear sounds to patrol the your mistress is tight, right? I'm bad. I'm gonna do science. Stand. Ten million the universe that you can observe. Your mama took the ugly one and put them into one nerd. Roasted him. Was nice. What's love is dirty? Oh, I was going to sing you guys the theme. I was going to sing the theme song of Big Bang Theory. All universe was in a hot dense state. That's all I remember. There are alphabetical with hidden parts with the pyramids, mad science history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang bang. I should actually learn the lyrics. I haven't watched Big Bang Theory in a long time. I used to be obsessed with Big Bang Theory, so much so that during my GCE, my mom, my dad seized my laptop. Then he put it in his briefcase and locked it. How do you put my laptop in a briefcase? Then you lock it. Then you put the password to the lock next to the briefcase. How? So whenever I was bored or just come back from school, I go to his wardrobe, take the briefcase, unlock the laptop, and just watch it. Because you should try harder if you are trying to keep the laptop away from me. For the next approximately 1 week, 5 days before I go, I will be talking about so much theories in my private channel, which is this channel, but an alternate universe, which is the private. Back to our conversation. The biggest scientific discovery in history. We've got quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, reality behaves completely differently to what we see with our eyes. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. This gave us computers, lasers, and smartphones. And we have relativity for living quantum mechanics. In the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and Leonard Abbott, physicists, I really want to play you guys Big Bang Theory's theme song. Was the walls of the pyramids. Mad science history, reveling the mystery that all started with a big bang. I just time traveled for a second. You guys need. Sorry, I forgot my mic. You guys need to stick around to my YouTube channel because things are going to get extremely Interesting. I have a content calendar, and so my content will be more structured, and I will touch every train of thoughts or topic in my head. And trust me, my mind is. Stick around. Quick question. Where would you rather live? The United Kingdom or America? Keeping in mind that in either of these two countries, you would be eventually forced to be controlled. And let's assume in these two countries, everyone is being controlled. Also, what would you do to save the people that are being controlled? Let me know in the comment section. Back to the biggest scientific discoveries in history. This is the third time I'm saying that. Quantum mechanics, once again, and I love how that sounds. Quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, reality behaves completely differently to what we see with our eyes. Particles exist in multiple states. In other videos, I will talk about words like subatomic, etc. Like and subscribe. Stick around. Once again, quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, reality behaves completely differently to what we see with our eyes. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. This gave us computers, lasers, and smartphones. Relativity. Einstein showed that time and space are not fixed. They bend and stretch depending on speed and gravity. GPS satellites only work because engineers account for this. In some other videos, I would elaborate deeply into things. Excuse me. In other videos, I would elaborate deeply into the explanation. Right now, I am just giving you guys an introduction. Relativity. Once again, Einstein showed that time and space are not fixed. They bend and stretch depending on speed and gravity. GPS satellites only work because engineers account for this. Now we have science versus religion versus philosophy. This is where it gets interesting. Science asks how does this work? What causes this? What is the evidence? Philosophy asks why? Why does everything exist? What is consciousness? What is truth? Religion or theology ask who created this? What is our purpose? What is sacred? These three don't have to be enemies. Many of history's greatest scientists were deeply religious. Newton, Faraday, Mendel, who discovered genetics, was a monk. Mendel, who discovered genetics, was a monk. I'm guessing the rest weren't monks. Let me show you how Claude constructed this sentence. Newton, Faraday, Mendel, who discovered genetics, was a monk. This is not a very properly constructed sentence because one, there should be a conjunction since Mendel was the name of the last person in the trial. Two, the who discovered genetics was a monk could easily confuse the reader to think Newton, Faraday, and Mendel all discovered genetics and they are all monks. But I know Newton didn't discover genetics, he discovered gravity and he proposed the theories of gravity and motion. I know Faraday is a chemist and he proposed the laws of Michael Faraday. I can't remember his theories. And I know Mendel is a genetics, or rather a geneticist, because I did biology in high school. Pardon me, I studied biology in high school and he proposed some theory called the Mendel's theory or theories, but I can't remember any of this. So stick around to know what these theories are. Hence why stick around to know what these theories are. Okay, so back to the write up. Hence why This sentence looks a bit confusing. My microphone is about to die. The conflict comes from when any one of them tries to answer question that belongs to the others. Let me take that paragraph again. These three don't have to be enemies. That is science, philosophy, and theology. Theology means religion. These three don't have to be enemies. Many of history's greatest scientists were deeply religious. Newton, Faraday, Mendel, who discovered genetics, was a monk. The conflict comes when any one of them tries to answer questions that belong to the others. I would think it should be that belongs to the others, because this is English language. The conflict comes when any one is singular, when any one of them tries, corrects, because that is a verb, but a singular verb, a singular verb in present tense or present participle tries to answer questions that belongs. So that should also be in present tense or present participle. Yeah, that belongs to the others. Let me know in the comment section. After this video, I will use Claude to check. As a man of faith, Israel, you find that science explains the mechanism of creation, the how. What it cannot explain is where there is something rather than nothing. That's where science reaches its edge. What it cannot explain is what it cannot explain is why there is something rather than nothing. Why there is something rather than nothing. That's where science reaches its edge. The Big Bang Theory explains the formation of the universe, and different scientific theories explain the formation or the creation of different natures, from the life sciences to the nature sciences to even social sciences, but they all did not, or they all could not explain why we should have nothing. Excuse me, they all explain why there is something, why this is that, why different things exist, but they can't explain why things do not exist. They can't explain why there is nothing, which would be very complicated. It would be complicated because how would you even explain nothing? This is a question, a brain teaser. How would you explain nothing? And what does nothing mean to you? And that is where science reaches its edge. So, here is your assignment. 1. What is nothing? What does nothing mean to you? In our next video, I would be asking you to drop the response in my comment section, or you can also drop it in the comment section to this video. The unsolved mysteries of science. Science is honest about what it doesn't know yet. What is dark matter? 85% of the universe's mass is invincible and undetected. What is consciousness? Why does subjective experience exist at all? What existed before the Big Bang? Science can only go back so far. Is there life elsewhere in the universe? This is unknown. Why do we sleep? Excuse me, I was reading and telling you guys what is in front of the little topics. Let me show you the unsolved mysteries of science. Science is honest about what it doesn't know, what it doesn't yet know. What is dark matter? 85% of the universe's mass is invincible and undetected. Is its universes or universe? Let me check Google. Give me a second. I want to check a DM from my friend. He had a doctor's appointment. Excuse me. Excuse excuse the might fuck around and die soon. It is a joke. I just replied his text. I said, "How are you feeling?" Well, my love. His name is Isaac, and he is one of my closest friends. Yeah, universe. I know what universe. What about universes? It's pronounced universe. It's not there. We are out of the how to pronounce universe zone in English language. I think I will just say universes. Sorry, the unsolved mysteries of science. Science, excuse me. I am reading this for you guys again, slowly, so as to really excuse me, so that we can all really understand the unsolved mysteries of science. Science is honest about what it doesn't yet know. What is dark matter? 85% of the universe's mass is invincible and undetected. What is consciousness? What does subjective experience with excuse me, why does subjective experience exist at all? What existed before the Big Bang Theory? Science can only go back so far. Is there life elsewhere in the universe? This is unknown. Why do we sleep? Still not fully understood. What is time? Physics describes it, but can't fully explain what it actually is. Here is the conclusion: science as content, given your platform, science is gold. Your audience loves to learn, and science connects to almost every topic you cover. Psychology is science. Anime is full of scientific concepts. Attack on Titan's biology, full metal alchemist, chemistry, and physics. Theology intersects with cosmology and consciousness. And God, business. Business uses behavioral science and economics. Gym is literally applied biology and biochemistry. You could build an entire content series called Science of Science of Discipline, Science of Attraction, Science of Wealth, Science of Faith, and it would dominate. The other part says, or rather, the last part says, is there a specific branch you want to go deeper on? Physics, biology, consciousness, quantum mechanics. Pick, pick one and we'll go all the way in. My head is banging. I will be creating video series talking teaching and educating you guys and even myself about science. So stick around. I will leave you with one question first. It has been nice making this video. I have learned a lot and I hope you have also learned something new. Here is a question. What do you understand when I tell you, or rather ask you, about the science of life? What is the science of life? Let me know in my comment section, please. Please let me know in my comment section. Like and subscribe. See ya.